The conversation was about Drake May's struggles so far in camp. I've related many things. I've heard the words bumpy, uneven, etc. I don't think their wide receiving core is good outside of Stephon Diggs. I don't. I think there's a couple of players that can make plays. But for the most part, I don't think they're good. I think that's a reason why he's struggling. I think the offensive line's still adjusting. It's why he's struggling. I think it's fair that we mention that maybe one of the reasons why he's struggling is Josh McDaniels and his offense. And I'll tell you this, Skaz, because I'll get to you in a bit, Skaz, on this too, but I swear you could put Patriots fans on the stand as witnesses. And if you mention that Josh McDaniels has done nothing outside of being with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, they will tell you you are a liar. They will tell you you don't know what you're talking about. You could bring up the facts of Denver, Rams, and Raiders. You could bring up the victory cigars when he got fired. You can bring up how he derailed quarterbacks' careers outside of New England. But, now that he's back, there's no way he could ruin the development of Drake May. There's no way. I can't have it. Today, we find out Drake May was good, 14 of 16. Starting to realize Josh McDaniels' offense. Josh McDaniels even spoke today. On this show, this season, if Drake May struggles, I will look at how poor some of the wide receivers are. I will look at the new coach. I will look at the offensive line and their struggles. But I will highlight Josh McDaniels' play calling, just like we did for Van Pelt, Bill O'Brien, Matt Patricia, because in fairness, to just say Josh McDaniels here and it's going to work, now that is suspect. Absolutely suspect. And I went back and forth yesterday, today, and I stand by it. If Drake May struggles, the first person you should look at is Josh McDaniels. I haven't dropped a suspect in a while. But there's nobody where the jury is out more than Josh McDaniels without Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Ian Rappaport, NFL Network, giving the latest on Stephon Diggs. And, well, we can put all that to rest now. Patriots have no plans to release Stephon Diggs. They have high hopes for him. And him showing up to OTAs was a good thing. Duh! Actually, that was what my segment was going to be about. Ian Rappaport. That's what my segment was going to be about. Josh McDaniels at the beginning of practice today says Stephon Diggs is here for Patriots OTAs. And then Stephon Diggs came out with his number 8 in his helmet, in his gloves and shorts, and waved to everybody. And then said, "Nice to see y'all." It was also reported this week that if the Patriots do want to pull the plug on Stephon Diggs, they simply have to fail his physical. I said all these things on Friday. Like, what happened here? Guys, we did this on Friday. So now, but Pro Football Talk writes an article over the weekend, and now it's like they said it? There is more contract details. If the team physician does fail Diggs, the Patriots owe him absolutely nothing financially. They can pull the plug if they want to. He does look great on film. I mentioned that last week. He looked good on film. So while the contract doesn't contain a clear answer, there are several provisions that could apply. First, paragraph 26 of the contract set forth by the signing bonus under paragraph 26A. Diggs gets $12 million, with $4 million paid within 2 weeks of execution. So he'll get $4 million. So he'll get that at the signing. He'll get $4 million on October 31st. Then he'll get another $4 million on March 31st of next year. Doesn't mean the Patriots can tear up the contract for any reason before Diggs passes his physical. It nevertheless provides an escape hatch if the doctor who is on the team's payroll never believes the knee was fully healed. So again, it's still alive, everybody. They're not going to, but it's still alive. The second paragraph focuses on the pre-existing condition of Diggs' knee. wipes out the $10.6 million in guarantees beyond the $12 million of the signing bonus. So in the event that it's terminated due to pre-existing conditions or an injury or a medical condition or whatever, then they wouldn't have to pay him. The provision evaporates once he passes the physical mention in paragraph 26B, which makes the physical even more important, in which the Patriots give a window of pulling the plug if they so choose. So long story short, there's default language for $10.6 million in non-signing bonus guarantees, which the Patriots can get out of at any time. And where did they bring up? They bring up the old Antonio Brown contract. Right? Because when the Patriots go to contracts, they know what happened with the Antonio Brown deal. They refused to pay his $9 million signing bonus, so they found a way out, and a grievance was made for $5 million. And they still owe him $4 million. Do you know that, guys? I didn't know that. I had Pro Football Talk. The Patriots settled a grievance with Brown for $5 million. They've only given him $1 million. That's going to be a slow payment, huh? This is what I mean. Stephon Diggs, the Patriots need him. We all know it. We all know it. But they hold the control of that signing bonus. The doctor, the team doctor, could fail that physical just to do it so they don't have to pay him the money. So it's funny how the Cardi B video, the video on the boat comes out, the Cardi B video comes out. There was other guys around the league. They're like, hey, if you had a sister, which player on your team would you not want around her? And people say Stephon Diggs. That was hilarious.
That's an old Vikings video.
Oh, my God, that's so funny. So, guys, I don't care. Like me, again, I want the player on the field. I want him to do whatever he can to be on the field. I don't care what Stephon Diggs does. I don't care. I don't care.
He was on the field today, right?
He was there at OTAs, and then after last week when Vrabel said, I want the most or make the best decisions, he shot 8 videos and posted them all to Instagram. Then he posted an Instagram yesterday, and then today he said, nice to see y'all.
But if he was there running around today, he passed his physical, right?
No.
You think they let him run around without passing his physical?
He's not doing 11-on-11. I believe that you can do side workouts. I don't believe you can be on 11-11.
He looked pretty good to me, Joe.
Well, you know what's funny? Maybe during the break, it's a Pro Football Talk article. I want to say there might have been a date in there regarding the physical. So yeah, to your point, if he's out there, did he pass the physical? There are some guys that don't. Kendrick Bourne didn't pass earlier on last year. He didn't pass until Halloween. But he was there. Guys, I talked to Kendrick Bourne in the locker room when he was passing through. So he was at OTA. He was at camp last year. He just couldn't physically practice in the 11-on-11s. But I thought that article mentioned something about a date of the physical. I'll scroll through. It's in that article. I did see it today. So yeah, maybe they got to wait till then. Some of the talk is he'll be ready to go for week 1. I don't. All I can tell you is you heard it from Ian Rappaport. I was going to tell you first. I think this pretty much means that the boat thing and everything like that's behind him. And in a way, there are these people in the world, Skaz, that think everything happens for a reason. And that, sometimes things can be a good thing or a blessing in disguise or things to that degree. This Stephon Diggs boat thing that has happened before June 1st, well, Vrabel set the culture. He was gone for a couple of days. And when they came back on Monday after everything was said and done and all the talk about potentially cutting him and his contract and everything, he was there today. Now the report is they're moving forward with him. Maybe this was the moment they needed to do to get him back into team focus. And I love that Jalen Polk was attached to him by the hip. I don't know if Jalen Polk's a bust. I don't. Well, we'll talk to Barth about it later. I still think they can get something out of him, but man, last year he was his worst enemy, his own worst enemy. So again, he's attached to the hip to Stephon Diggs. Is that a good thing? I'm going to go with it being a good thing because it's on the football field. What's it going to be like off the football field? I do want to get into the Josh McDaniels stuff too because I think that there are people in this town or Patriots fans that can't have a healthy discussion about Josh McDaniels. I don't even know if we had a chance to read this last week, but Mike Reese, who's very close to the Crafts and a great reporter, love him. We had him on in the draft show. Reported last week that Mike Vrabel really wanted Thomas Brown on his staff. Now, I know that some people are saying that he really wanted Josh McDaniels too. How many people were knocking on the door for Josh McDaniels?
That would be none.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Lifshat said this yesterday. Remember when Ryan Day was going to get fired? Do you know who one of the names were to become the next head coach of Ohio State? It's Mike Vrabel. And do you know when they were thinking of their discussions? It wasn't Josh McDaniels that Mike Vrabel pitched as the offensive coordinator. Again, Lifshat's take on that one. But I believe him. Matt Patricia's there now. Think about that. Oh, my God. Matt Patricia's there. But can we have a healthy conversation about Josh McDaniels? He's highly decorated. Highly. With Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Don't give me Mac Jones. Don't give me Cam Newton because Bill Belichick was there. So all of your firing takes that you have that are weak, pull them aside. Can you keep it to just how he was without Brady and Belichick? It was really bad. Actually, to tell you the truth, with the Rams, it was the worst in the NFL, and it was the 16th worst offense of all time. And don't get me wrong. I'm going to make this one more time, guys. I'm going to say this one louder. Maybe people don't know this. They opened the season against who? What team? What team this year do the Patriots open the season against? The Raiders. The Raiders. Who?
Oh, Gino and Pete.
Yeah, but you know what, though? They hated Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, they were smoking victory cigars when he got fired.
The whole team lit up. The whole team. They won the next game. By the way, do you know that everybody that he worked with regressed? And when he left, everybody did better. Tim Tebow did better. Sam Bradford did better. Derek Carr did better.
How about the fact that they just straight up don't like him, and every story you hear was how much of a disaster it was?